Every single morning, without fail, the sun rises. It doesn't pause, it doesn't ask for applause, and it doesn't wait for permission. No matter how dark the night was, no matter what storms raged the day before, the sun still shows up. It shines with consistency, with power, and with certainty, and there's something profound in that, because if the sun can rise regardless of what came before, then so can you. Every new day carries a choice, a decision, an opportunity to rise, not half-heartedly, not reluctantly, but with intention and purpose. The question is, when the morning comes, do you rise like the sun? Do you step into your day with clarity, focus, and conviction? Or do you let the weight of yesterday dictate how you begin? The truth is, how you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. People often think success is about luck, about talent, or about resources. But if you look closely at the lives of those who seem to carry strength, direction, and peace throughout the day, you'll notice it's not those external factors. It's something deeper. It's purpose. Purpose is what separates the people who stumble into the morning, already exhausted, from the people who greet the day with energy. Purpose is what keeps you from dragging yourself through life like you're a passenger in your own story. It's the difference between reacting to life and creating life. Most people wake up because the alarm clock told them to. They drag themselves out of bed because they have obligations, because they have to. But champions don't rise like that. Leaders, visionaries, people who make an impact, they rise because something inside them won't let them stay down. They have a fire burning in their chest, a calling louder than any alarm. That calling is what gets them on their feet even when their body says stay in bed. That calling is what pushes them forward when their mind whispers, you can't. It's not that they don't feel tired. It's not that life doesn't test them. It's that they know they've got something bigger to wake up for. Think about the pressure you feel when you wake up. The unfinished tasks from yesterday chase you into the new day. The weight of responsibility presses on your chest before your eyes even open. The world is demanding something from you before you've even had a chance to breathe. You check your phone and suddenly you're in the middle of chaos. Messages, headlines, endless noise. And just like that, before you even touch the ground, you're in the passenger seat of your own life. You're reacting, you're rushing, you're panicking. But here's the truth, pressure is external. It's what the world throws at you. Purpose, though, that's internal. It doesn't come from the world, it comes from within. Pressure screams at you, but purpose whispers. And if you can learn to hear that whisper, if you can tune into that quiet but relentless voice inside you, your entire life changes. Purpose doesn't let you settle. It doesn't let you quit. It doesn't let you shrink yourself down to fit into the expectations of others. Purpose isn't always loud, but it's steady. It's the constant pull reminding you that you are meant for more. And when you learn to rise with purpose, you stop needing external motivation. Motivation is fragile. It comes and goes depending on how you feel. But purpose is eternal. Purpose doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if the world is against you. Purpose will always pull you up. Consider someone like Oprah Winfrey, one of the most accomplished and respected individuals alive. And yet, she doesn't let the world dictate how her mornings begin. She doesn't open her day with chaos. She begins with peace, with stillness, with intentional calm. Because she knows the world will throw storms her way. But if she builds her foundation in peace, she can carry that peace through anything. That's not by accident, that's intentional. Peace is not passive, peace is power. And the people who rise with purpose understand that they must create the conditions for strength before the world tries to strip it from them. Now think of someone closer to everyday life. Imagine a single mother waking up before dawn. She's tired, she didn't get enough sleep, but she's got mouths to feed and dreams to protect. She doesn't rise because of convenience, she rises because of necessity. She's not chasing luxury, she's chasing survival. But survival fueled by purpose becomes strength. That woman doesn't need motivation. She doesn't need perfect circumstances. She's got something far more powerful, a reason why. And that reason gets her up, carries her through exhaustion, and fuels her to keep building. That's the strength of purpose. That's why some people rise like warriors even when the odds are stacked against them. Because they know what they're waking up for. When you rise with purpose, you walk differently. You talk differently. There's an energy about you that doesn't need to be explained. It's felt. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else, because you finally understand you're not here to copy anyone else's story. You've got your own assignment, your own mission, and your job is to rise every morning ready to answer that call. Without purpose, it's easy to confuse busyness with progress. The world tells you that if you're busy, you're successful. But busyness without direction is just running in circles. Purpose is your compass. It shows you what to say yes to and what to walk away from. It keeps you aligned when the world tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. Most people aren't truly lost. They're just disconnected from their purpose. They've got the talent, they've got the heart, but somewhere along the way, they let pressure drown out the whisper of their calling. They let the noise of the world decide who they should be. And now, they're living on autopilot, surviving but not thriving. But autopilot doesn't take you to greatness. Autopilot keeps you in the loop of mediocrity. Greatness comes from intention. It comes from rising each morning and asking yourself, what is my calling today? And not tomorrow. Not when circumstances improve today, because today is all you have. Today is where your power lies. If you don't choose who you are when you wake up, the world will choose for you. And trust me, the world has a script ready for you. One that has nothing to do with your destiny. Don't accept it. Write your own script. Live your own story. Rise with purpose. Purpose isn't about titles or careers or material success. It's about showing up for life like it matters because it does. It's about recognizing that your time is not an accident, your existence is not random, and every day is a gift. When you rise with that awareness, you stop moving through life half-asleep. You wake up literally and spiritually. You carry yourself differently because you know your presence matters. And when you believe your presence matters, you stop hiding, you stop settling, and you start living. So when the morning comes, don't rise on autopilot. Don't rise just because you have to. Rise because you choose to. Rise like the sun, steadfast, intentional, unstoppable. Rise with the knowledge that no matter how dark yesterday was, today is a new chance to shine. The world doesn't need another person lost in distraction, drained by pressure, or silenced by fear. The world needs you, fully awake, fully alive, rising with purpose. And when you rise like the sun, you don't just light your own path, you light the way for others too. The way you spend the first hour of your day will shape everything that follows. It might seem small, almost insignificant, but it is in those quiet first moments that the foundation of your day is built. Too many people wake up and immediately hand over their peace to the world. The phone buzzes, notifications pile up, emails demand attention, social media shouts with updates, and the news flashes headlines that convince you the world is already on fire. Before you've even had a chance to take a breath, you're reacting to noise, chaos, and demands that were never meant to dictate your life. And here lies the trap. When you let the world into your morning, you lose yourself before you've even begun. You give away your focus, your clarity, and your energy before you've had a chance to center them. Successful people know this. They know the first hour is sacred, prime real estate that can either be filled with distractions or with intention. And they guard it fiercely. Think about it. The first hour of your day belongs to no one else but you. The world may believe it owns your time, your energy, your attention, but it doesn't, unless you give it permission. That hour is yours to protect, yours to invest, yours to shape. If you choose to surrender it, you're playing catch-up for the rest of the day. But if you claim it, you take command before the world even knows you're awake. That's what the greats understand. Look at leaders like Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. He rises at 4:30, not to scroll through his phone or to check messages. He rises early to protect his time. He reads, he moves his body, he strengthens his focus. He doesn't allow the world to storm into his morning. He steps into it with discipline and intention, so that by the time the world does arrive with its noise and demands, he has already built his foundation. He's not reacting, he's leading. You don't have to be a CEO or a global icon to understand this truth. The value of your first hour has nothing to do with status, money, or influence. It has everything to do with guarding your energy, your mind, and your spirit. Because once you allow distractions to pour in, your thoughts scatter. You move from being the driver of your life to being a passenger. You get caught in the illusion of busyness without real direction. And slowly, without even realizing it, your day belongs to everything and everyone but you. That's why it's essential to draw a line in the sand and declare that the first hour of your day is non-negotiable. It is the time you use to strengthen yourself, to align with your purpose, to prepare your spirit for whatever challenges await. When you control the first hour, you don't just prepare for the day, you command it. You create a rhythm that carries into everything else. Think of it like tuning an instrument. A musician doesn't begin a concert with an untuned instrument, because everything that follows would be off-key. In the same way, if you begin your day untuned, chaotic, distracted, anxious, then every interaction, every task, every challenge will carry that dissonance. But if you tune your mind, your body, and your soul in the morning, then everything that follows will be aligned. You will carry clarity into meetings, peace into conflicts, and focus into your work. That is the power of the first hour. So what does guarding that hour look like? It's not about copying someone else's routine or trying to force yourself into habits that don't fit your life. It's about intentionality. For some, it means beginning in silence with prayer, meditation, or gratitude. For others, it means moving the body, exercising, or walking to wake up energy. For others still, it means journaling, writing, reading something inspiring, or setting clear intentions. The practice doesn't matter as much as the principle. You are deciding what to let into your mind before the world has a chance to decide for you. You are feeding your soul before the noise of the world tries to starve it. Most people wake up and open their phones within minutes. They scroll through feeds filled with highlights of other people's lives, comparing before they've even had a chance to stand tall in their own skin. They fill their minds with opinions, arguments, and noise before they've spoken a single word to themselves. And then they wonder why they feel scattered, anxious, or drained before the day has even started. But here's the truth. You can't hear your own voice if it's drowned out by everyone else's. You can't hear your purpose if you let the world's demands scream louder than your inner calling. Guarding your first hour is about choosing to hear yourself before you hear the world. It's about choosing stillness before chaos, purpose before pressure, clarity before confusion. Ask yourself this. What would your life look like if, instead of reacting to the world's noise, you built your mornings around peace, focus, and strength? Imagine waking up, not with the stress of yesterday pressing on you, but with gratitude that today is another chance. Imagine filling your mind with words that inspire you, rather than headlines that terrify you. Imagine moving your body, even just a little, reminding yourself that you are alive, capable, and strong. Imagine setting one clear intention for the day, deciding not just what you'll do, but who you'll be while you do it. The ripple effect would be massive. You'd walk differently, you'd speak differently, you'd handle challenges with more patience, setbacks with more resilience, and opportunities with more clarity. That's the secret of those who live with power. They don't allow the world to invade the first moments of their day. They protect those moments like treasure, because they know that if you can control your morning, you can control your day. And if you can control your day, you can control your life. It doesn't matter how busy you are, how much responsibility you carry, or how chaotic your schedule may be. There is always something you can do to protect even a portion of that first hour. It might be 10 minutes of silence before the noise begins. It might be writing down 3 things you're grateful for. It might be taking a short walk to clear your mind. The form doesn't matter. The discipline does. The first hour of your day is the battleground for your peace. It is the place where you decide whether you will lead the day or the day will lead you. Too many people surrender without a fight. They think they have no choice, but the truth is, you always have a choice. You may not control what the world throws at you later in the day, but you can control what you feed your mind and spirit when you first wake up. And that choice makes all the difference. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, resist the urge to reach for the phone. Resist the pull of the world's noise. Breathe, ground yourself. Decide who you are and how you will rise. Protect that first hour like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Your focus, your clarity, your energy, your peace. They are treasures, and once you give them away, they are hard to reclaim. But if you guard them, if you rise with intention, if you take command of the first hour, you won't just start your day strong. You will carry that strength into everything you touch. And when you live like that, day after day, you don't just change your mornings. You change your life. Success is not an accident. It is not something that just happens to a chosen few while the rest of the world is left struggling. Success is a pattern, a rhythm, a collection of behaviors repeated with such consistency that they begin to produce results that seem extraordinary to everyone watching. But if you study those who have walked the path before, you realize it is not magic, it is not luck. It is discipline, it is choice, and it is the willingness to learn from those who have already achieved what you desire. The truth is simple. Success leaves clues. Everywhere you look, in every field, across every generation, there are men and women who have built lives of meaning, wealth, impact, or freedom. If you're willing to study them, to observe not just what they say but what they do, you can take those clues and build your own path. The problem is that most people are too distracted to notice the clues. They admire the results but ignore the process. They envy the success but overlook the sacrifices. They dream about the finish line but forget to study the steps it takes to get there. And so they convince themselves that success is mysterious, unattainable, reserved for the lucky or the gifted. But when you strip away the illusions, you see something different. You see that those who rise high do not rise by chance. They rise by following principles that anyone can apply. And they leave those principles in plain sight, written in their routines, their habits, their words, and their choices. Look at any great leader, entrepreneur, artist, or athlete, and you will see patterns. You will see discipline when no one is watching, sacrifice when comfort is calling, persistence when failure is tempting them to quit. You will see hunger for learning, a refusal to settle, and a clarity of vision that pulls them forward when others lose their way. These are not secrets hidden in vaults. They are clues scattered across biographies, interviews, speeches, and stories. They are waiting for anyone bold enough to pick them up, but most won't. Most will keep scrolling, keep distracting themselves, keep numbing their minds with endless noise, while the clues sit untouched, waiting to be claimed. One of the greatest truths you can embrace is this. If someone has achieved something you desire, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to stumble blindly through trial and error. You can study them. You can learn what they did, how they thought, how they handled obstacles, and what disciplines shaped their journey. You can compress years of experience into hours of learning. You can take decades of wisdom and turn them into a map for your own future. That is the power of recognizing that success leaves clues. Think about athletes like Kobe Bryant. He wasn't just talented. He was obsessed with studying those who came before him. He modeled his game after Michael Jordan, but he didn't stop there. He studied every move, every decision, every nuance until he could internalize it and then make it his own. That's why he became one of the greats. He didn't assume greatness was a mystery. He studied the clues and followed them with relentless discipline. The same is true for business leaders, artists, writers, and thinkers. They all drew from those who came before, blending the wisdom of the past with their own fire to create something new. But here is where many people make a mistake. They hear the phrase success leaves clues and assume it means copying someone else exactly. They think modeling is mimicry, but that is not the truth. The clues are not a script. They are a compass. They point you in the right direction, but you must walk the path yourself. You are not meant to become someone else. You are meant to become the fullest version of yourself. And the clues left by others are there to guide you, to show you what is possible, to save you from unnecessary mistakes, and to remind you that the path has already been walked by those who refuse to quit. The challenge is that following clues requires humility. It requires admitting that you don't know everything, that your current way of doing things might not be enough, that you need to learn. And for many, that humility is too heavy. They'd rather stay stuck than admit someone else has wisdom to offer. But those who rise, those who build lives of significance, are not ashamed to learn. They devour books, they study mentors, they surround themselves with people who are further along, and they ask questions without fear of looking small. Because they know that every clue gathered, every lesson absorbed, every insight gained brings them closer to their vision. Think about the alternative. If you refuse to study success, you are doomed to repeat failure. If you ignore the clues, you must stumble in the dark, making the same mistakes others already learned from decades ago. Why would you choose unnecessary pain when wisdom is available? Why would you choose ignorance when knowledge is everywhere? In today's world, the clues are more abundant than ever. The biographies of the greats are written and available at your fingertips. The interviews, the podcasts, the talks, the lessons, they are everywhere. The question is not whether the clues exist. The question is whether you have the discipline to seek them, the patience to study them, and the humility to apply them. And yet, even with clues all around, many still fail. Why? Because knowing is not enough. Collecting clues is not enough. Reading 100 books, listening to 1,000 podcasts, attending endless seminars. None of it matters if you do not act. The clues are meant to be applied, not admired. They are meant to be practiced until they become part of you. You cannot build a life of success by inspiration alone. Inspiration without action is entertainment. But inspiration with action becomes transformation. So the question you must ask yourself is this: whose clues are you following? Who are you studying? Whose life, whose journey, whose wisdom are you drawing from to guide your own? If the answer is no one, then you are walking blind. But if the answer is someone who has achieved what you desire, then you are already on the path. And once you are on that path, it is only a matter of time, discipline, and persistence before you begin to see results. The beauty of this truth is that it removes excuses. You can no longer say, "I don't know where to start," because the clues are already there. You can no longer say, "I don't have anyone to guide me," because the guidance has already been left by those who came before. The only real question is whether you are willing to look, to learn, and to apply. Success is not hidden. It is revealed to those with eyes to see and ears to hear. And once you begin to see the patterns, once you begin to model the disciplines, once you begin to walk the path with intention, your life begins to change. Remember this: you are not starting from zero. You are standing on the shoulders of giants. Others have built the bridges, paved the roads, and left the markers. Your job is to walk with courage, to gather the wisdom, and to keep moving forward. Success leaves clues, and those clues are calling to you. Don't just admire them, use them. Don't just collect them, apply them. And when you do, you'll discover that the life you dream of is not out of reach. It is closer than you think, waiting on the other side of discipline, humility, and action. Dreams without action are illusions. Ideas without execution are fantasies. No matter how inspired you feel, no matter how much knowledge you gather, no matter how many clues you collect from those who walked before you, none of it matters until you take action. Action is the bridge between imagination and reality. It is the only way to bring the unseen into the seen, the only way to transform thought into result. You can visualize, you can affirm, you can hope, but if you never move your feet, your life will remain the same. The truth is, most people never fail because they tried and came up short. Most people fail because they never truly try. They wait, they plan, they overthink, they convince themselves they are not ready. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect alignment of circumstances, the perfect confidence. But perfection never comes. Life never grants the flawless moment. And so they keep waiting until their dreams dissolve into regrets. The graveyards of the world are filled with unwritten books, unsung songs, unstarted businesses, unlived adventures, all buried because people refuse to act. Action is not about waiting until you feel fearless. It is not about having every answer or knowing every step. Action is about moving despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite doubt. It is about taking the next step you can see, even if the entire path is hidden. It is about trusting that clarity comes from movement, not from stillness. You don't wait for confidence to act. You act, and confidence is built through the act itself. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't wait until they are certain they won't fall. They don't sit on the floor analyzing every possible step. They move, they stumble, they fall, they get up, and they keep trying. And within that messy process, mastery is born. Yet, as adults, we paralyze ourselves with the illusion of certainty. We want guarantees before we move, but life offers none. The only guarantee is that if you do nothing, nothing changes. If you move, everything becomes possible. The greatest breakthroughs in history did not come from people who waited until conditions were perfect. They came from men and women who dared to act when others hesitated. They acted when the risks were high, when the doubts were loud, when the outcome was uncertain. And because they acted, they changed the course of their lives, and often the course of the world. What separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is not intelligence, not talent, not luck. It is courage expressed through action. Action creates momentum, and momentum is powerful. The first step is the hardest because it breaks inertia. But once you begin, energy builds, small victories accumulate, confidence grows, the impossible starts to look possible. And suddenly, the mountain that once looked insurmountable is climbed one step at a time. This is why action matters more than perfection. The person who acts imperfectly, but consistently, will always surpass the person who waits endlessly for the perfect plan. But let's be honest, action requires discipline. It requires pushing past laziness, past excuses, past the comfort of someday. It means doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Success is not built on occasional bursts of inspiration. It is built on daily action, on showing up again and again when others quit. The habits you form, the routines you commit to, the small steps you take each day, that is what shapes your future. Big dreams are achieved through small, repeated actions compounded over time. The danger is that many confuse motion with action. They spend hours planning, researching, preparing, but never executing. They mistake being busy for being productive. But true action is not just motion. It is movement with impact. Reading about health is not the same as exercising. Talking about a business idea is not the same as building it. Thinking about writing a book is not the same as putting words on the page. Success belongs to those who do, not just those who dream. Fear will always whisper when you step into action. It will tell you you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. It will magnify the risks and minimize the possibilities. But fear is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are growing, that you are entering territory that matters. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward even while fear speaks. And the more you act in the presence of fear, the quieter it becomes. Remember this. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need every detail figured out. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. Life rewards movement. Opportunities appear when you are in motion, not when you are standing still. People you need to meet, resources you need to find, doors you need to open. They are all waiting on the other side of action. But you will never encounter them if you remain stuck in thought. The time will never be perfect. Tomorrow will not be easier. Someday is an illusion that steals your future. The only real time is now. And if you don't act on your dreams today, you are silently choosing to abandon them. The life you want is not waiting in the distance. It is waiting for your decision. One decision, one step, one act of courage can change everything. Think about this moment. You already know what you should be doing. You know the step you've been avoiding, the action you've been postponing. Deep down, you feel it. Maybe it's starting that business, having that conversation, writing that chapter, making that investment, or committing to that discipline. You've carried it in your mind long enough. Now is the time to move, because the longer you wait, the heavier the weight becomes. And here's the truth. You will make mistakes. You will stumble, you will fail. But failure is not the enemy. It is the teacher. Every mistake holds a lesson that brings you closer to mastery. Every failure contains feedback that sharpens your path. The only true failure is refusing to act. Everything else is progress. When you act, you either win or you learn. Both move you forward. The choice is simple. You can live in hesitation, trapped by doubt and fear, watching your dreams fade into regret. Or you can live in action, stepping boldly, imperfectly, courageously into the life you were created for. One path leads to regret. The other leads to growth. Which one will you choose? The world is not waiting for your intentions. It is waiting for your action. Your family, your future, your purpose. All of it depends on whether you move or stay still. The clock is ticking. Your time is finite. Do not waste it in hesitation. Decide, move, begin, because when you act, life shifts, doors open, momentum builds, and step by step, you create the life you once only imagined. Action is the great separator. It is what divides the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers, the average from the extraordinary, and it is available to you right now, not tomorrow, not someday. Now, take the step, make the call, write the page, start the work. Move forward, because nothing changes until you do. And once you do, everything changes.